Okay guys, welcome to math review tonight. Tomorrow you're finishing up your test. We're going to look at number 1. What is the value of the 5 in the number 14 and 5/10? The value would be, you could either write decimal point 5 or 5/10. Number 2, how much larger is 400 than 40? 400 is 10 times larger than 40. And this is a two-part. How much smaller is 2/10 than 2? 2/10 is 10 times smaller than 2. Number 3, what is the value of the 4 in the number? The value of that 4 is in the hundredths place, so we would have 4 hundredths, or decimal point 0.04. Number 4, in 30, is 30 hundredths greater than, less than, or equal to 3 in the tenths? Okay, decimal point 0.030. If we line them up, we could put a 0 behind it that doesn't change the amount. They end up being the same, so they are equal. And there's numbers 1 through 4. Number 5. Write a number that is equivalent to 2/10. 2/10 would be 20 hundredths, so we need to color in that. And the number that we could have that's equivalent looks just like that. Number 6, draw 2 pictures using base 10 blocks showing 2 ways to represent the number 4 ones and 2/10. Okay, 4 ones. 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes, 4 holes, and then 2/10. We could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Another way we could do it is think of that as 42/10. So you could also do 42/10 pieces. So you could do, or you could do big, 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, depending on how you wanted to do it. Show the difference between the 2 in 92 and 5/10 and the 4 in 8 and 49 hundredths. You may use pictures, models. Okay, 92.5 is 2 ones, and 8.49 is 4/10. Those are definitely different. Next one, how many tenths would you need to make the number 14? Well, think, if we had tenths, that would be in the 10, 14. So how many tenths would you need to make the number 14? Do you know? She's being shy. How many tenths? You would need 14/10. You would actually need 140 to make the number 14. Because to make the number 14, you would have to have 14 and then a 0 in the tenths place, which would be 140. Bella distracted me on that one, guys. Okay, number 9. Write to explain how many tens are in 100. There are 10 tens in 100. How many hundredths are in 1/10? Well, the way you can think of this, you've got your tenths, and then you've got your hundredths, and it wants to know how many hundredths are in a tenth. And the answer to that one is, how many hundredths are in a tenth? We would need 10. Got quiet there for a second, didn't it? Okay, 5MBT2. Find two factors that can be multiplied together to get the product. Okay, two factors. We want that number right there. So we could take 45, and it's got two zeros, multiply it by 100. There's one factor, there's two factors. That'll give you the answer. Next one, find a dividend and divisor that can be divided to get the quotient. We want to end up with this at the end. So if we add a 0, add one more 0, and then we divide it by 10, that'll take 1 0 away, which will bring us back to that same number. Next one, multiply 420 by 10 to the... Ooh, my eyes are really bad on this one. Fourth, I think. So we're going to add 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, comma, comma. Without solving, how many zeros will be in the product of 4 times 10 to the 7th? The exponent's a 7. That means there's going to be 7 zeros. Number 5, 6, 7, and 8. Write to explain why you move the decimal point 2 places to the right when you multiply 4 and 2/10 by 100. 100 has 2 zeros. Therefore, decimal moves 2 places. Number 6. Okay, we're going to do 5 and 10 times 10 to the first is going to give you $51. And then we're going to do $5.10 times 10 to the second is going to give you $510. And then we are going to know that she earns $510 in 1 year. Number 7, explain why the following equation with powers of tens are true. The decimal point moves the same amount as the exponent. Write to explain why the decimal point moves 2 places to the left when you divide. Exponent is 2. That's why it moves. Okay, last 2. Find the product. Product means to multiply. And we're going to multiply that number by 10 to the 6. That means we need to move it 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Add 3 zeros, comma in the middle. We're going to move the next one, divide. Quotient is division. 3 places because the exponent in divide goes to the left. So if we originally had, and we move it 1, 2, 3, our new number is going to look like that. Remember, multiply goes to the right, divide goes to the left. Okay, MBT 3. Right, 796 in expanded form. Okay. One option, 700 plus 90 plus 6 plus 0.3 plus 0.08 plus 0.004. Number 2, place them in order from the least to the greatest. Smallest one up there, 2.003. Next, 2.03. Next, 2.3. Find 4 numbers that are between decimal point 22 and decimal point 23. Add zeros behind it. 220. Down here, decimal point 230. So what numbers could you have between decimal point 221, decimal point 222, I said 22, decimal point 223. You could also have 224, 225, 226, 227, 228, 229. Using the symbols up there, we need to say what it is. Well, we've got, just look at the number, 409 or 490. I would much rather have 490. If you show it, you could line them up. And then you could say 9 in tenths is greater than the 0 in the tenths. Which digit is in the thousandths place? Which digit is in the thousandths place? 7. Write the number in expanded form and word form. Okay, expanded form. We've got 20,000 plus 1,000 plus 900 plus 80 plus 9 plus 0.09 plus 0.008. Word form, I'm going to say it, 21,989 and 98 thousandths. So there's 2 parts to that. I only wrote down one of them. Don't give me that look, Riley. What is the value of the underlined digit in the number? That is a 6. And it is in the thousandths. Make sure you have THS at the end. Place these numbers in order from least to greatest. There's number 1. There's number 2. There's number 3. And there's number 4. If you line them up, they would go in that order. Use the symbol to compare them. Okay, so we got 0.02, 0.020. I can put a 0 behind it. It's not going to change the value, which means they're equal. Number 10, shade in the amounts. The first one is 40. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second one is 900ths, so only 9 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which one's shaded more? Makes it greater. Okay, NBT4. Shade 47. There's 10. There's 20. There's 30. There's 40. 41, 42, 43, 44, 5, 46, 47. So do the next thing. Okay, now you want to round it to the nearest tenth. Here's the nearest tenth. 7's behind it, so that's going to become a 5 when it's rounded. Round to the nearest tenth again for number 2. Here's the 10th. Behind it is a 6. That's going to round to 1 1/10. Round to the nearest hundredth. Here's my hundredth. Behind it is a 9. Makes the 8 go up to a 9. If my rounded number is 9.7, what could the original number be? Okay, rounded is 9.7. That means it could be 9.65. Could be 9.66, 9.67, 9.68, 9.69. Could also, if it's rounded to 9.7, be 9.71, 9.72, 9.73, 9.74. All of those would round to 7, and all of these 6's, because the number after them is 5 or greater, would round up to a 7. Okay, NBT4. Use the number line below to put a dot on 88 hundredths. 88 hundredths is right here. Use the number line to explain why you would round it to 9. The 88 is closer to 0.9. 0. Round 245 and 7 thousandths to the nearest hundred. So we have 245.007. Here's the hundredths. Behind it is a 7. 245.01 for number 6. Number 7, what is the value of the underlined digit in the number? That would be 8 tenths. And round to the place of the underlined digit. If you look, behind the 8 is a 7. That's greater than 5. So it's going to become 5 9 tenths. Number 8, if my rounded number is 1.4, what could the original number be? Well, you could do 1.35, 1.36, 1.37, 1.38, 1.39. You could also do 1.4 with a 1 behind it, or 1 and 4 with a 2, or 1 and 4 with a 3, or 1 and 4 with a 4. Round to the nearest hundredth. 1.01. It's a 9 behind it. Draw 72 hundredths on the chart, then round to the nearest tenth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Round it to the nearest tenth. It's a 2 behind, so it stays a 7. And we're on to the last section. NBT 7. Solve. If I add those two together, first thing you've got to remember when you do decimal points is to line them up. Fill the rest in with zeros. 8, 18, 4. There's your answer. Number 2, find the product. You do not need to line up decimal points when you find the product. Don't forget product is multiplication. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. 9 times 7 is what? 9 times 7. Anybody?
9 times 7 is 63.
Thank you. 9 times 7 is 63.
Yeah.
Woo! Now we're going over at a 0. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 0 is 0 is 1. 7 times 3 is 21. 6, 5, 4, 7, 2. I added them up. 2 decimals here plus 1 over here gives me 3 over total. 1, 2, 3. So I get 27 and 456 thousandths. Next one we need to solve. I've got 31 and 3/10, and I'm subtracting 18 and 79/100. Got to add a 0. Borrow, that 3 becomes a 2, make it a 10. 1. 1 becomes 0, make that a 12. 12 minus 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is 5. 3 becomes a 2, borrow to get 10. That's 2, 1. We get 12 decimal point 51. Okay, the next one. Andy bought a magazine for $2.49 and a drink for $1.45. She gave the cashier $10. How much change should she get back? So first, add up the $2.49 and the $1.48. 9 plus 9 is 18, so 9 plus 8 is 17. 4 and 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, 2 and 1 is 3. So she spent $3.97 on the magazine on a drink. We need to subtract that from $10. Got to borrow and go way over as we borrow. So this 1 becomes a 0, and that becomes a 10. This now becomes a 9, and that becomes a 10. This becomes a 9, and now that becomes a 10. 7, 8, 9, 10 is 3. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 3 is 6. Decimal down, decimal down, decimal down. She gets $6.03 change. Okay, number 5. What is the product of 241 and 8/10 and 3.8? So you got 241 and 8/10. Multiply that by 3 and 8/10. I'm going to tell you 8 and 8 is 64. 8 times 1 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 8 and 4 is 32, 33. 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19. Add a 0. Cross those out. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3, 4, 5. 12. 7. 4, 8. 8. Uh-oh. I think that was a 2. 11. 9 over 1 gives me over 2. 9, 18, 84. Phew! That's the right answer, guys. That's why it's important to write correctly. Okay, number 6. We changed it up. We did not do that one. Number 6. How many times does 3 go into 19 and 5/10? 3 times 6 is 18. Put your decimal point. 3 goes into 15 5 times, which is 15. All good. Explain how many digits there should be after the decimal point in the product. So if we wanted to know how many digits that there should be after the decimal point in the product for number 7, we got 2 here and 1 here, so there should be 3 digits. And then if you do all of your multiplication, you should get 334 and 836 thousandths as your answer to that. Number 8, we switched it up again, and you're going to take 3 and 675 thousandths, divide it by 7, goes in 0, 7 times 5, decimal point, 35, 1, 7, 7 times 2 is 14, 2, bring down the 5, that's a 3, 7 times 5 is 35, which ends with 0. Whoa. Okay, number 9, Ben earned $23.09 helping his neighbor cut the lawn. He spent $9.85 on some school. How much left? Means we got to subtract. 2309, subtract 985. If you have 9, take 5 away, it leaves you the 4. Need to borrow, make that a 10. Gives you 2. Got to borrow, make that a 1, makes that a 12. 9, 10, 11, 12 is 3. That means he's got $13.24. And last one, number 10 on your test. We had 147 and 6/10. Dividing that by 2. 2 goes into 14 7 times, gives you 14. Leaves you with a 0, bring down the 7. 2 goes into 7 3 times, which leaves you with a 6. 1, bring down the 6. Add your decimal point. 2 goes into 16 8 times, which is 16. Left with nothing, and your test is done. And the secret that you need to know for tomorrow's test is did you think I left you, didn't I? I'm still here. The secret code word tomorrow is black cherry. Ah. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow.